We're back,
Hi there.
but I switched over to the other side just to change it up. So, completely different. We thought about
Yes, and
changing
now for
shirts and
something
pretending.
completely different.
Yeah, we could go change our shirts and pretend it's tomorrow and like we're not doing these
Yeah,
all at once.
I talked about that, but you get to see us in our same shirts. Yes, we were recording this right after the previous video.
For honorabledating.com.
Yes.
And we need your help so we can make the world a better place. Tell your friends. Share this with somebody.
Right. I'm Janine. This is Danger.
Right?
Subscribe to our
I'm
channel
Danger.
and like us on Facebook.
hmm So today we're talking about just common courtesies that a lot of people seem to have forgotten about dating, especially about dating, but it also holds true for the rest of your life.
Right.
I still hold the door. We've been together for 10 years,
He
and
does. It's
it's
awesome.
my job, if I'm present, to always hold the door. You know, I will run around the car to try to get there first. If it looks like she's going to get there first, I better hustle. That's my job, and that's just one thing. So I got a little list of water. So I'm just going to blast through this really, really fast. Okay. Uh, so call if you're late, right? Maybe texting is okay. I'm a little old fashioned that way. You can't understand the tone of an apology in a text. Sorry, running late, like abbreviated. They left out three vowels.
I much prefer
Sorry,
calling.
late, running 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Texting while driving, great. Um, yeah, you can hear it if it's on a phone call. Speaking of phones, once you're together, turn the thing off, mute it, ignore it, right?
Absolutely. One of the biggest I'm gonna say it's the most disrespectful thing when you're with someone who is looking down and texting while you're having a conversation with them. And we have a policy, we don't have devices like that at
Sorry,
our
what were you
table.
just saying?
Yeah. And we don't do it to our friends. We turn our phones off when we go to our friends' houses. It's just something that is a really nice gift to be present, to be wholly there, and
Yeah,
not looking at Facebook notifications or tweets or texts while you're on a date or visiting with friends or for any reason whatsoever.
right, right.
It's just not appropriate.
What it says when you say, and you can even say it. You can say, "Look, I'm turning my phone off because I want to be entirely present with you." And if you don't, even if you don't say it out loud, that's the unspoken message that they will hear.
Yes.
And conversely, you are not important enough for me to turn this thing off. I'm going to be back in 30 seconds. You can sit there and stare at your plate.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, that's
right?
a little painful.
Yeah. So then, just classic stuff like, okay, so hold the door, pull out the chair for the lady, you know, help her put her coat on and off.
That's
And
kind of recent for you. You didn't always do the
I haven't
coat
always
thing,
done the coat thing.
but you've been doing it lately. It's been kind of nice.
I'm always trying to, I'm not always successful, but always trying to be a better person.
Let me interject
Okay?
really quick. Um, for those women who feel that this somehow takes away from your ability to be feminist or be a strong woman, let me just say that it's not that at all. It is a way for your partner to treat you as something special.
hmm
And I I feel special when he opens the door for me, when he takes my coat. It's not that I'm not capable of doing these things on my own. Anyone can open a door. Of course, I could take my coat off. I put it on. um, but it is a gift to have someone who cares so much about you that they want to announce it to everyone in the restaurant by standing there and taking off your coat. Do you know that it happens so infrequently that people stop and they look? And
Yeah,
It's a real gift to have chivalry back.
that's true. It's been a while since I was actually dating, because I'm in a successful relationship. It seems to keep going.
Yeah,
It's really nice.
it's pretty awesome actually.
But I did date back in the day, and when I held the door, and I've been holding the door my whole life. When I was a kid, I held the door for my mother. She trained me to do it, and I never stopped. So that was an easy one for me. But I tell you what, man, it it was like this big deal. When I would pick someone up for a date, and their mother would be like, I'd hear the story 3 days later. My mom's like, "That's the first guy that's ever held the door for you. You should stick with him."
Yeah.
I would hear these kinds of stories. A lot of reaction, and I was always a little baffled. Like, what? Really? Am I the only one who does this? And there were a number of girls that I dated, and they would say, "You're the only one who's opened the door for me ever." And it was anyway. It's just it's a way of saying that you're important to me. That's what I'm thinking.
Hmm. That's how it
You
feels.
know.
That's absolutely how it feels. And I understand there are some women who really don't like it, who feel like it takes something away from them. And maybe on the first couple of dates, when you don't want there to be sex expectations, and so you don't want you're concerned, you want to pay for half the bill and all of those kinds of things. I understand that, but I don't think it's right to deny um, your partner the ability to give you that gift of respect.
There must be women who would find it offensive,
There
but I
are.
have never met them. And I hold the door for everyone. At the bank, I'm holding the door for, I hold the door for men too, though. And a lot of people do. Like when they're going
Mhm.
in and out of the building, if someone's within 5 or 10 feet or some in distance. But if I've seen someone full of, their arms are full, they're carrying stuff, I might hold the door if they're 30 feet away.
Absolutely.
And
I hold the door. You should always hold the
I
door.
have never, not once, ever met that woman who resented it.
Well, I hope there wouldn't be a whole lot, and perhaps it's just a. I feel like it must
They
just
must
be
be
a
out there.
misunderstanding. But
Yeah, yeah. Um, so let's see. Help with the coat. Pull out the chair. It's the same thing.
yeah.
Coat on and off. Pull out the chair. I don't always get the chair. I don't think. Sometimes there's a booth. It's not. I don't know. I'm not perfect on these things. And
You
then
are already perfect. Just doing one thing on this list is awesome.
then put the phone away, and then call if you're late.
Yes.
Text. Yes, I once dated a girl who, um, I was going to be 10 minutes late for our first date. And I called on the phone and I said, "I'm so sorry, I'm running a little late. Maybe I'll be there at about 7:10, if that's all right. And I just wanted to touch base with you and apologize, and make sure that you knew that I really am looking forward to going out with you." This is basically, I'm paraphrasing. That's what I said back then. I didn't just say running 10 minutes late in a text. I called with an explanation, an apology, and further, I said, "I know it's our first date, and I didn't want there to be any chance of you thinking you were getting stood up, and worrying for those 10 minutes." And those were basically my words. And okay, okay, I'll see you soon. And we got off the phone. But man, uh, I suppose I think she was about 20, and I was maybe 22 at the time. And the place, I was picking her up at her mother's house, and her grandmother was there. Okay, and it was another one of those things, like this common courtesy that should be ordinary, stunned the older women in the
Mm.
house. The mother and the grandmother were like, "Wow, I can't believe he called." You know, that was so nice of him to call and let you know he was running late. Like it was a big deal.
It's so sad.
It's tragic that
People
that was
aren't accustomed to it.
it should not be a big deal.
Mm-mm.
It should be ordinary. And for you, it will be, because now you know. Um,
Women
What
really
else?
appreciate these things. They really are little gifts that just make a huge difference. And along those lines, women have responsibilities also for common courtesies, like being patient, waiting for the waiter to serve you, chewing with your mouth closed. That's a big one.
Right, right, right.
That's for everyone, not just for the girls. But um, let's see here. You girls have to put their phone away too.
Hmm, hmm.
You should not be flirting with anyone in the room that is not the person that you're there with.
No,
Um,
no,
those kinds of things are horribly uncomfortable and inappropriate. Um,
no, you know. And the flirting thing. I think we mentioned that in another video where we're talking, or no, no, that was in a book that I'm working on a book,
mm,
and I had written a section recently, where I was saying that a woman flirting with a man may be placing, you might, like, your husband, your date, whatever, you might be placing him in physical danger because it may lead to a situation where
oh, right.
you've got this other guy who thinks he's got a green light to try to take her home. These guys are going to be fighting. In an extreme, it would be possible that your date could get killed over this thing. Somebody, guys can, especially with a stranger, and first date, you don't know what these guys are really like. And so I was in my book. I was talking about how a man should be protecting a woman, and that there's a certain amount of responsibility that may fall on the woman as well to not, um,
Not put them in a position where their violence could
exactly,
ensue. Yeah, I
right,
understand
to
that.
not, if it's optional, he shouldn't have to be there,
Right.
you know. So don't create those things. But that's a digression. I'm good at digressions. Um, but also for people who are possibly dating on the internet,
Mm,
there's um, responding to emails,
yes.
right?
Hmm.
And even if you're not interested, you know,
Yeah.
so many people would be grateful for I'm sorry, I'm not going to work out right now, or,
Yeah. I'm just not ready for a relationship, whatever it is.
yeah.
You really need to respond. You should never leave someone hanging where they have to wait. Oh, they haven't sent me a message in 2 weeks. I guess they're not interested. But I've
Hmm.
waited for 2 weeks thinking that maybe there was a connection. That's really unfair to put someone in that position.
Yeah, don't string them along. If you know this is not the person, end it, and end it
Hmm.
politely,
Yes.
curtly, is fine. You can just the simple truth is fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think we're really clicking. I don't want to waste your time,
Hmm.
by stringing you along.
Yes.
That would be greatly appreciated by a lot of people.
Yeah, clarity is really important, especially in the very beginning. Letting people know that you just got out of a relationship is a good thing.
Hmm.
Really being able to communicate with people about your ability uh, to date, about your emotional availability, about what your expectations are. Really, just being out there and letting the other person what you're looking for, what you want. It's a really good way to determine whether or not that relationship is going to go where you want it to.
Sure, sure. And then let's see. I wrote down, like, if you're on the phone, like if you're on the phone with this person, okay, like say you've been maybe internet dating for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
texting, or maybe, probably emailing or messaging on some dating site, right? Uh, Hopefully dating, honorabledating.com. Um, but then once you start talking on the phone, be on the phone. Don't be watching TV, checking my
Right.
email, looking at
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, and saying, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yes, it has been a constant trouble
mm-hmm.
for my daughter that she's on the phone with her boyfriend and he's playing on the Xbox. And he's not just playing a game, he's playing a game with 10 other people who are also on Xbox Live and they're communicating. And
Yeah,
wow, I can't believe he's on the phone with her during this, and neither can she. So, when he talks about really being on the phone, that's what he's talking about. Be present.
yeah, yeah. Just, and really, this is all you're doing. You're on the phone with this person. This person should have your full attention.
Mm-hmm.
if they're not important enough to have your full attention, um, or if you have other things that are so pressing that you cannot give your full attention,
Right.
then let them know. I'm sorry you're not important enough to have my full attention. But really call it quits at that point.
Yeah, well, just
Or
say, I promised my friends I was going to do this right now, and I really want to be able to talk to you and give you the
yeah,
conversation you
yeah,
deserve. Could we do it in an hour? That kind of thing.
right.
You know, or the tree trimmer just showed up. Can I call you back? Anything like that is far better than not being present.
And it would be nice to schedule those things to say, in about 2 hours.
Sure.
When they're done, I'll give you a call.
Right.
Um, nice. It's just nice for people to know what's going to happen. So we were talking about general manners with dating. I think we might have covered enough.
I think so too.
So, is there anything else?
I don't think so.
I feel like I'm forgetting something, but
well, if we do, we'll do another video.
Have to start another video up.
Thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great day.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.